Hey yo, what is up, everyone? Welcome to the TJAY TV podcast. I'm on Spotify and Google. How are you doing today? Happy Friday, and I might add, it has been a long week, and the week's just going to be getting even longer next week. So, yeah, I'm a little tired. It's been a long couple weeks. So, hope you guys enjoy this little interview we're going to be doing. I'm going to be interviewing Santa Claus in just a couple minutes because why not? It's Christmas. Like it's December and Christmas is literally right around the corner. And after this week, we got 2 more weeks left with each other until I take a little break. So hope you guys enjoy it. And if you're new, make sure you smash the like on Spotify, Google Podcast, A3 Media on YouTube, and much more. I mean, I'm trying to grow this thing. And you know what? Once 2024 is over, it's the last year of TJ TV. I'm really excited. I mean, it's the final season, and I hope you guys enjoy it because it's going to be a really fun last few months hanging out with me on the show. So hope you enjoy that. But anyways, yeah. So Santa Claus is coming on. There's a couple things I want to talk about. So the CE before I start with the interview, the CEO of United Healthcare got gunned down last night, and everyone thinks it's an inside job. Like it's really like I saw the video like yesterday, and I'm just thinking like this is really bizarre. Like the fact that this guy just got like annihilated, like just got killed, shot randomly, and it just makes you think like, why did he do it? Like it really makes me think that there's something like I don't know. We live in a bizarre world, and I talk about this a lot. Like the government, the government is very powerful in many different ways, and it's just bizarre just to think that something like that would happen. But I mean, it is weird. It really is weird. It is what it is, too. I mean, nothing we can really do about it, but oh well. But I saw the video on X and it was kind of scary just to think like something like that could happen. Like someone that powerful could just get gunned down. It kind of reminded me of the whole John Lennon and Mark David Chapman incident. But yeah, I just found it weird. So that happened. Let's see. Joe Biden pardoned his son, Hunter Biden. Trying to think. Is there anything else in the news? There was tsunami. There was tsunami warnings in California, earthquakes. So, oh, just yeah, a lot of weird things happening in the news. I mean, it's a really weird, bizarre time that we're living in, but you know, it is what it is. By the way, got ghosts. This is probably one of my favorite sweatshirts. I was talking about this with a guy I work with. He was like, "Why do you wear that shirt?" I'm like, to be honest, I got a puppy. She chews a lot of stuff. This is like the last good sweatshirt I have. She might just take it off, honestly, just because with the background it looks a little weird. But yeah, oh well. All right, so yeah, we're gonna be interviewing Santa Claus in just a few moments. Hopefully you enjoy it, and we're gonna take a quick little break, and I'll be back in just a few moments. All right, I'm here with Santa Claus, and with Christmas literally 3 weeks away, maybe even less. How are you doing today?
Oh, we're working hard at the North Pole, getting ready. Getting all the toys ready. I've checked my list once. I got to check it a second time. Make sure all the boys and girls are, being nice.
Now, when do you usually check the list? Is it usually the day of like Christmas Eve, or is it the day before? How does that work?
Christmas Eve before I leave, I just got to make sure, no one misbehaves, on Christmas Eve before I go out. And maybe some of those kids that had been naughty, maybe they were really working hard, and I want to make sure that if you're nice, you get your presents.
Now, like, so I've seen the movie The Polar Express. I'm sure you've seen it multiple times. One of my favorite movies of all time. Now, do you guys have that big giant TV where kids are like, if some kid does something naughty, like puts gum in like his sister's hair or something, do the elves watch that and report it back to you on Christmas Eve? Say that like in that scenario, if that happened.
Oh, I get instant notification. With technology, I get a buzz on my phone if someone goes on the naughty list.
How often do you get people on the naughty list?
Unfortunately, more than I would like. But there's still a lot of really, really good boys and girls out there.
Have you ever had one year? You said you're 348 before we came on the show, did the interview. Have you ever had anybody who was just strictly naughty? There were no nice kids.
Oh, there there's never been that, fortunately. We've always had a couple of good kids out there to make sure that we need Christmas spirit, and the nice boys and girls give me my Christmas spirit. So without magic, I can't deliver those presents.
Now, and you fly strictly with your reindeer, pretty much,
Yes,
and that relies on the magic of the spirit of Christmas.
exactly.
Now, in every movie I've seen, and I keep bringing this back to movies, but my whole issue with every movie about Santa Claus that I've ever seen, Rudolph is never in any of the movies except Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, which obviously you recruited him many years ago. But I don't know. Do you have anything to do with that?
Rudolph has his own advertisement team. So, he wants to make sure he gets his royalties, for those movies. So they want to make sure, if they want to put him in, he wants to get his royalties. So sometimes, the movie execs don't put him in, but he's always on my sleigh because you never know when I'm going to run in some spoggy Christmas Eve, weather.
Yeah, I mean, living in PA, I don't think we've ever had a white. I was born in '95, so I don't ever remember having a white Christmas or having like a blizzard. My mom swears that we have, but my earliest memory was four, so I don't really remember much of having a white Christmas.
No, but I'm not just in Pennsylvania. I'll go across the entire world.
Well, yeah, no,
So,
that's what I was like. That's what I was getting at. Like, you go all over the world, but like, have you ever experienced a white Christmas in Pennsylvania?
oh, yes, I'm thinking it was back. Last one might have been back in the 1990s. There was it might have been around 96, 95. There was a white Christmas in Pennsylvania.
Yeah,
So it can happen. Hopefully this year. That way you don't have to spend Christmas in Colorado.
actually, so funny story about that. My wife and I were in Colorado recently, and I said, well, one thing on my bucket list, and I can't control Mother Nature. I would love to have a white Christmas. That is like the one wish I want to have. I want to experience that as an adult. And she said, "Well, we got to go to Colorado." But I'm optimistic that that may be my wish for this year if you can grant that. I've been good too. Don't get me wrong. I've been good. There's certain things I haven't been good at.
Oh, I checked my list once already. You're on the nice list.
Is my wife on the nice list or is she on the naughty list?
She goes back and forth.
Goes back and forth.
Yeah.
That's good. So, how long does it usually take you? You probably fly at the speed of light. You go all around to at least, I want to say, what, six or seven continents around the world.
Yes.
How long does that usually take you? Because I know, like Australia, for example, and China, wherever, they're all 12 hours ahead of us. So you have probably had to hit those spots first, and then you come right to the States. And then obviously you got, the East Coast and West Coast time difference. How does that all work?
Yeah. So I start you know, at the earliest time, and it's about 22 hours that it takes me to deliver all the presents. But luckily, yeah, I have Dasher who is super fast, and helps me get to all those houses. Without him pulling the sleigh, I don't know what I would do.
Right. But so have you ever had one instance where you were cutting it so close to the point where like you almost exposed yourself?
There's been a couple of times where someone almost saw me, you know, um, but I've been lucky that no one has actually caught me. They might get a little glimpse, a little flash of red, maybe a little dust coming out of the fireplace as I'm going back up, but no one's actually seen me in the act.
How do you go down people's houses if they don't have fireplaces?
Well, I do have a magic key that I can use to get into to places like apartments and whatnot. But even some through the vent pipes on the roof, and just little magic dust dropping down, and it opens up, and I can drop right in.
Kind of like in what's that movie? The Santa Claus with Tim Allen when he would go down the vent pipes and he just
And
had
they would open up, and he'd pop
yeah.
down inside, and the chimney opens up. Yes, yes, exactly.
Wow, that seems pretty cool. Like, does it ever feel weird going down a vent pipe? Like, do you get like a little like claustrophobic?
The first year, I was a little concerned whether it was all going to work, but now it's just like, like riding a bike. Every year you hop on the sleigh, and it's almost automatic.
That's interesting. Now, do people ever stay? I know people stay up overnight, like kids would obviously do that, but has anybody ever tried to like set up a trap for you, like put like flour on the ground so you can catch your footprints, or like put like a rope and try to kidnap you? Has that ever happened?
Definitely the flower on the ground, trying to catch my footprints. Catching my footprints is okay. I enjoy that. That kind of shows that I've been there. I see see the trip ropes, and if there's a camera, through the doorknob, I know that's there, and deactivate that before I pop down the chimney.
With magic, obviously.
Exactly.
Have you ever had any like crazy experiences delivering to somebody? Has something crazy happened in your endeavors of the 348 years that you've been doing this? Or well, not 348, but you know what I mean.
Yes, yes. Nothing too crazy, occasionally a dog that wakes up, and will bark, and that's why I always make sure I have a treat with me, and I can give them a little treat, a little bone. They lay down, and they're fine then. But nothing too crazy. No one's stolen my sleigh or my bag or my hat.
Is your hat magic too? Does that have like communication with the elves and Mrs. Claus and all that?
Oh, the whole suit is magic. The whole suit is filled with Christmas magic. So yeah, I can communicate to the elves when I'm flying. They tell me, if I'm running behind, Santa, you're spending too much time eating those cookies, just take a bite and leave. I like to clean the plate, Mrs. Claus doesn't like that though. But they always they keep me on track, making sure I don't spend too long in one continent.
Do people ever give you like soy milk or like lactose intolerant milk, or is it just strictly milk and cookies, or carrots for the reindeer for that matter too?
No, I always get all different kinds: soy milk, almond milk. Especially for families that maybe have an allergy or an issue. I've had kibasi and pierogies. I've had chicken parm. It all depends on where I am. Not everyone leaves a chocolate chip cookie, which is nice because it mixes it up. But I do love cookies.
Yeah, no, I I always was like taught that like Santa Claus loves chocolate chip cookies. And now that I got to meet the real guy, it's confirmed that you don't get just that, you get multiple things. But what kind of pierogies have you gotten? I mean, that sounds pretty good.
Oh yeah. Oh, potato pierogies, cheesesteak pierogies are common
Oh,
in Philadelphia area.
yeah. So fun fact about that. When the Eagles were going to the Super Bowl, I don't know if you're a sports fan,
Oh
but
yeah.
so when they were in the Super Bowl a couple years ago, this place in Port Richmond, Chev's Brothers, not a sponsor, but they had green cheesesteak pierogies for the Eagles, and they were so good. Oh my god, they were the best.
Oh, I love chefs. They have the best kibasi and pierogies. I actually I get it for all the elves up at the North Pole every year.
Yeah, yeah. We I've gotten Kabasi from there. So I work on the radio, and this one woman, she is sponsored by Chev's, and she gets Kabasi for us every year.
Oh, that's great.
And so,
I called and made my order actually today at Chef's, believe it or not. And John told me I still have to wait in line. I'm like, John, it's Santa. He's like, everyone waits in line. I'm like, you can't help me out, but it's still good.
I mean, he has to make an exception for Santa, though. Like,
Well, I understand. Yeah, I don't. Everyone's busy. I don't want to cut in line.
Yeah, I get that. Now, when you get done doing whatever, delivering presents, what is the first thing you do? Do you just go to bed? Do you stay up and, watch the cameras and see the kids opening their presents? How does that whole operation work when you're done delivering
Well, as exhausted as I am after delivering all those presents, I need to see the excitement. It builds up, everything I need to continue being Santa Claus and to create Christmas one more year. So seeing the kids' eyes light up, the parents excited for seeing their children open up the presents from Santa Claus. That's probably the best part of being Santa Claus.
and and it makes kids like have the spirit of Christmas, and they can carry it on with their own, with their kids next year, and or well, when they have kids and years on. I mean, that was probably one of my favorite things growing up, like, opening presents that you would give me. And it was just really exciting. And it's still an exciting time because I still get presents from you.
Right, right, because you've always been on the nice list.
Yes. Certain naughty things I've done. We won't discuss that, disclose, but where do you vacation at?
Well, last year I went to Jamaica. Had a
Okay.
nice relaxing trip to Jamaica. I occasionally go to the Jersey Shore as well. Ocean City's a fun town. Bring down the elves down for a little R&R.
You ever go to California at all? Ever or
Other than delivering presents, I haven't vacationed there yet. But
vacation?
it's on the bucket list for Mrs. Claus and I.
Where are you vacationing this year? If you could disclose that.
Well, I am planning a trip to Colorado in June. Spend a little time, maybe go to Red Rocks.
Oh, that was so. When I was in Colorado, my wife and I went to Denver. We saw, I don't know if you know the band, probably do, Green Sky Bluegrass.
Okay, yes.
And they were at Red Rocks Amphitheater. And that was our first experience in Denver. First day we were there, and that was the best experience ever, like seeing the concert there. And then we went to Crested Butte, which is a few hours from Denver, and that was an experience too. I mean, you've been through the mountain. Obviously, you've been through the mountains. Do you ever get lost going through the mountains of Colorado? Because I know with us going there, we had no service, and we were just kind of going blindly and hoping the GPS didn't cut off at any point. But with you ever get lost?
No, it actually feels a lot like home because of all the evergreen trees and the snow and mountains. So it's much like being up at the North Pole. So I feel comfortable flying the sleigh around there, and luckily have never got lost in Colorado. But I do have to be careful about the cookies in Colorado. Occasionally, I've been left something a little naughty there.
Now, what do you naughty kids? Is it coal or is it just nothing? Because I know coal was a common theme in movies, but like, what do you personally give kids? Naughty.
Well, a lot of times I try and give them a second chance.
Okay.
But if they are really that bad, coal or maybe just a little something small because every child at heart really is good. Sometimes they just need a little direction. So, if I were to give them nothing, that would really, really hurt them and maybe keep them from turning back, to being say, do better next year, Jimmy. And maybe you'll get, the toy that you actually wanted.
Right. Now, I just lost my train of thought. Wow, that's never happened. I literally just lost my train of thought. That's not good. Okay, so in any event, you just give them a little bit of a small present because every kid deserves something in some way, shape, or form.
Yes.
What do you give people? Do you ever like visit jails and give any of the cellmates something like a little small just because of they're in a jail cell? Do you ever give them anything or no?
Maybe some candy canes, a little extra time in the yard. But they need to make sure that they prove themselves.
Has anyone ever been so bad and at the last second proved themselves to you?
Oh, without a doubt, without a doubt. That's why I don't check my list a second time until right before I leave on Christmas Eve. And even as I'm up in the air, flying around, as I look in my naughty and nice list, things could change, in a drop of a hat. That's why you have to be good up until you go to bed on Christmas Eve.
Right. Um, and that list automatically changes because with technology, you can automatically see who is naughty and nice when you're up in the air.
Exactly. Exactly.
See that? Like, do you ever get cold being up so high?
No, more or less I get hot more than I get cold. Because especially when I'm in places like Florida or South America, different areas where it's really warm. I like to keep the sleigh up higher, so I can stay cooler. But I've never gotten a chill yet.
Yeah. Well, what about airplanes? Do you ever cross paths with the airplanes? And do people ever see you out? Has anyone ever seen you out the window?
There's been a couple of close encounters with airplanes. Once or twice, someone peeked out the window and you know saw me, and I dipped down, and they're like, "Wait, I just saw Santa." And of course, the person sitting next to him, like, "No, you didn't." Like, try and convince them, but there's been a couple of close calls with airplanes.
Is the Santa tracker accurate?
It's close. It's close. It's within a couple of 100 miles. So and I know some kids get worried. They might be at a family party and they see that I'm in their area. I know if you're not home, and you're at a family party, I go and hit some other houses and wait till you get home and swing back to wait until you're in bed.
What do you tell people that are non-believers of Santa Claus? Because I know there are a few people that are non-believers, but what do you personally tell non-believers if you can?
Well, I tell them, you know, be good, do the right thing. And really, you said non-believers. My belt, if you can see here, says believe.
Right.
So belief in the magic and the spirit of Christmas is what I'm all about. So I try and show them what the magic of Christmas is and how being good and being nice to others, feels good, and hopefully that increases in them, and then you have some kids that, oh, I don't believe, but then they get that special gift on Christmas morning, and then all of a sudden their eyes light up and they're like, how did he know? And that brings it all back.
And I keep bringing this back to movies because I love Christmas movies, but it's like in Polar Express, seeing is believing. Whether like people believe or not, like you have to believe in something, and that's where the magic comes from, just believing in it. You know what I mean?
Yes, yes, exactly. Believing in it, and not everyone. You don't have to see me deliver the presents to believe in it, but just know that that present that you never said anything to mom or dad that you wanted, and Santa brings it to you. That is where the belief comes from.
Yeah. Do you ever talk to the Easter Bunny or Cupid for that matter? Are they real?
Oh yeah, we have meetings all the time. Make sure everyone's doing good, and that belief and spirit, in all of us is there. Because if all of a sudden no one believed in the Easter Bunny, or the Tooth Fairy, what's next? Me? I don't want that to happen.
Yeah, exactly. Who else is real in that in your I guess, career path because you're Santa, you got the Tooth Fairy. The Tooth Fairy is obviously real. The Easter Bunny, Cupid. Who else? Is there anyone else that I'm missing?
Uh, the Sandman.
The Sandman.
Yes, yes,
What
yes.
about
Yeah, and we used to have La Befana, but she gave up her spirits to get rid of the Mad Santa. I don't know if you remember that one.
No, I don't remember that one.
Yeah, Santus Magnus. Yeah, the Mad Santa. You might have heard of him in the and the Santa Clauses.
Yeah, yeah, I do. Yeah, now I do remember. That does ring a bell. Why'd she give up?
Well, because there was the Mad Santa, and he was actually the one that invented giving coal to bad kids, and he wanted to you know not do presents, so she had to give up being one of the mystical creatures so she could stop him.
Wow, that's crazy. Now, do you and Mrs. Claus have any kids, or is it just you two?
It's just the two of us, and we have a dog.
You have a dog? What kind of dog?
Yes, he's a pity mix.
Pity mix?
Yes. He doesn't like the cold up at the North Pole. He likes lying in front of the fire.
How cold is it at the North Pole, anyways?
It's usually about, 0 degrees, maybe we get to 10 on a nice day.
Does it ever get warm in the summertime, or is it cold all year round?
It is cold all year round.
And you like that?
Uh, that's why, I can go on vacation. I can get away for a little bit, but I do love the cold.
I see. I can never living in PA. If I hated the cold, and my birthday's in January. It's literally 2 weeks after Christmas, and you would think like somebody like me who was born in January would love the cold. I hate the cold. I love the summers. Like I'm trying to push my wife to like let's go down south where it's warm all year round, or like at least out west. And she's like, "But you want to move to Colorado?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'll deal with the cold, but I'm not gonna like it, but I'll deal with it."
But you also have warmer summers there too. Yeah, Mrs. Claus every now and then says, maybe you can give it up and pass on, Santa duties to someone else, and we can retire down south. But I love being Santa Claus way too much to give it all up.
That was kind of my next point that I wanted to bring up. Was there somebody before you that passed it down to you?
Yes, actually, my dad was Santa Claus,
Really?
and he was a great Santa Claus. Gave you know presents to many many children, and he trained me in Christmas spirit and Christmas magic, and I've been going ever since he retired.
And so it's kind of like a family business affair type deal.
Yes, yes,
See, that is something I love about families. Like, depending on like whatever, like, say my dad did something cool, like I would step into his shoes and do his job. But like, I do like that aspect, like that it's a family business affair.
yes, and as a young boy, seeing my dad, delivering the presents, and I couldn't wait until I was old enough, and I could go with him on a trip to deliver presents and learn how to fly the sleigh, and talk to the reindeer, and it was quite an experience.
So you did get to go on ride-alongs with them, and
Oh yeah, he didn't just throw me out my first year and say good luck. Yeah, we it took a couple of years, to make sure we were ready to go.
have you ever had any flubs your first couple years with or without your dad?
Well, I the first year I started going the wrong direction
Okay.
across the world, and I'm like, why is it getting lighter instead of darker? And luckily he was there to say, hey, time to turn around, you're going the wrong way. So I quick made a U-turn, and we were back on course within minutes.
How fast does the I don't even I don't even remember asking you this, but like how fast does the sleigh fly?
Thousands of miles a second.
Thousands of
uh
miles.
we can go I can get from the North Pole to Pennsylvania almost instantly. Yeah, we also have some portals in the sky to help us, you know, get through to other areas, quicker.
Now, this may be a little off topic, but do you believe in aliens by any chance?
I've never seen any UFOs while I'm delivering presents. But is there someone else out there? Could be. Could be.
Because you only do Earth, you don't go like to Mars, for example, and you just strictly do Earth.
Exactly. Exactly. No. No, my reindeer cannot fly in outer space. They need to be within the Earth's, atmosphere.
That'd be a pretty sick movie, honestly. Like if Santa Claus went to space and traveled, it's just imagine. Now it's gonna now that project's gonna be taken over by somebody who listens to this.
Maybe Santa can join the Avengers somewhere.
That could be that would also be a good concept, honestly. I mean, would you so do you ever have say in certain movies that have your name in it, or is it just strictly producers and writers and directors just make movies about you? Do you have any say, or do you just let it happen?
Usually, they kind of do their own thing. Occasionally, they'll come to me for some background information, when they want to get, the true real feel, of Christmas. Tim Allen and I, we talked for a little bit before he took the role as Santa Claus, because he wanted to make sure he was, holly and jolly enough.
What about Kurt Russell? Because he did the movie The Christmas Chronicles. You ever talk with him?
He doesn't like to say ho ho ho, which is really one of my favorite sayings. So, we argued on that one. But he will do it every now and then. But that was the one thing that we butted heads on.
Now I saw they made like another like a reboot type deal, not really a reboot, but like a TV series about Santa Claus, and Tim Allen was in it, and his wife was in it, the girl who played Mrs. Claus, a woman I can't remember her name, but now he was passing his duties on to other people, and you were talking about doing that earlier. Now, who would you pass that on to if when the time comes?
Well, I haven't found the right person yet. It has to be someone that just loves Christmas as much as I do, and that will, no matter what, uphold the rules of the North Pole. I'll know when I see them. It'll almost be magical. That I can tell you're gonna be my successor. Hopefully no time soon because I love what I do. But you know, someone out there somewhere is a Santa in training. They just don't know it yet.
And you could just spot it instantly just from instinct.
Yes. Yes. It's a twinkle in their eye, maybe, that just makes me know that they're the right ones.
Yeah, no, that's cool. I mean, and you were talking about retiring down south. Now, obviously, you would train the guy. I guess the first like couple of years until he's comfortable, and then you would obviously go and do your own thing afterwards.
Yeah. Mrs. Claus would want me to maybe lose a couple of pounds, cut the cookie habit a little bit. But aside from that, I would go down and I'd still keep tabs on the elves and what's happening up at the North Pole. It would always be a part of me.
How did you and Mrs. Claus meet?
Uh we met in toy making school. So this was before I was Santa Claus, and we were making toys together up at the North Pole, and she caught my eye, and I just knew, like I said, it's kind of you know when you see the right one.
Yeah, that's kind of how I feel in a way. I mean, that's how my wife and I went to high school together, and I hold this over her head as a joke. I'm like, you remember that time in high school when you rejected me? And she was like, yeah. And then like years later, it was my last year of college. She was working at wherever she was working before, and we just started talking, and we got together. Been together for 7 years, almost eight, and eight this coming September coming up, next September actually. But yeah,
Yes, I was 19 when we met. So we've been together for quite some time.
yeah, no, that is like crazy though, like because a lot of people who are married, I'm not saying a lot of normal people who are married get divorced, and like it kind of breaks my heart when kids are in the mix because they feel like the love's not there anymore. My parents are still together, but I know a lot of my friends, their parents are divorced and the love's not there. And I feel like it just kind of breaks the spirit of, Christmas and Easter and all the holidays combined.
Yeah, that's definitely a hard thing, and that goes back to when you said, maybe some kids that are on the naughty list and whether they should get something. Maybe some kids act out because of a situation going on at home that they have no control of. And they're just trying to get attention, or trying to be heard or seen. So, that's always something that I take to heart, when it comes time to deliver their presents. But you know, as as long as Mrs. Claus puts up with me going out and spending the night out all Christmas Eve and doing everything I do for the children, I don't see anything happen between us.
Does Mrs. Claus ever come with you?
She hasn't delivered the toys. She like you and your wife. She doesn't like the cold. She likes to stay home by the fire, making cookies and making sure the elves are taken care of.
What is your favorite Christmas movie?
Well, I would say actually Tim Allen's Santa Claus.
Tim Allen Santa Claus?
Yes,
Why?
because that took someone who didn't fully believe in the spirit in Christmas, and he turned around and became a great Santa. Because like I said, everyone can have a change of heart. Everyone should have a second chance, and to see, where Scott Calvin, had come from to being, a great Santa. It kind of warms, my heart.
And his character, Scott Calvin, was divorced too.
Yes, yes, yeah,
And
that's true.
yeah,
Yeah, and also had issues with his kids, because of it.
yeah, and that is actually a true I can't speak. Yeah, that was actually a true Santa right there, if you know what I mean.
Yes, yes, exactly.
For some reason, it's weird.
I guess probably my second favorite Christmas movie, some people argue is it or not, is Die Hard. Everyone loves Die Hard.
I've never seen it.
No?
Never.
How could you not see Die Hard? And then well, third's gotta be Elf.
Oh, I love Elf. I saw that
Yes.
the first movie I saw this December actually. Because every December we always watch Christmas movies, and we always argue which movie do we want to watch first. What about National Lampoon? Do you like Christmas Vacation? What's your opinion on that?
Oh, that's a funny movie. Yeah, that's definitely top five. Definitely top five with that one.
I like his character, Chevy Chase's character, because he is trying to make it the perfect Christmas ever for his family. He wanted to host Christmas at his house, make it perfect for his family, his in-laws, his cousins, and it wasn't perfect, but it was in a way.
Because they were all together.
Yeah.
Really at the end, having your family together, the people you love, whether you get a bonus or not, being there with your loved ones at Christmas time and sharing, the spirit and joy of Christmas is, really what it's all about.
What's your favorite Christmas song?
Oh, well, I get a bad rap from Grandma Gets Run Over by the Reindeer. All right. That never happened. All right. We did not hit Grandma. Um, You know, the other one that I get a lot of trouble for is I saw mommy kissing Santa Claus. All right. It was her, not me. I did not do it. All right. But Santa Claus is coming to town, you know, is probably one of my favorite. And you know, for more of a solemn, you know, meaningful song, Silent Night is also one that I really enjoy.
Island, that's a good one. Um, the, Hark the Angel, Harp the Angels, Hark the Angels.
Yeah, Arc the Angels. Yeah.
That
Sing glory to the newborn king. Yeah, that one.
that's a good one.
Yes, yes.
And then Josh Groban's Believe.
Ah, okay. I like that one. The new one just I just heard was Santa drives an Astrovan. Makes me want to get an Astrovan. Have you heard that one yet?
No, I haven't.
With Jason Kelsey?
No, I didn't hear that one.
Oh yeah, yeah, it's part of the new album that they have out this year.
Did you hear that Jimmy Fallon made a Christmas album?
Yes, yes. I was actually listening to some of the songs from that the other day when I was getting ready in the morning.
I remember listening to an interview with him. He said if my Christmas album gets a hit, he's going to be done with the Tonight Show because he's going to be set for life. I mean, take a look at who's it, Mariah Carey. Her song gets played constantly every year. She probably makes bank off of that song for how many times it's played on the radio. And I mean, obviously, take a look around the world. There's so many radio stations that play the song, and Spotify plus Apple and Pandora. I mean, she makes bank with that song. She's set.
Right, right. Yeah. Oh, I think it's a little overrated of a song, but a lot of people like
I can't get into it. I mean, I've heard it so many times. I just can't get into it.
it. It's a common thought with people.
Yeah. So, what time zone are you compared to East Coast, West Coast, Mountain Time?
We're North Pole time.
Okay.
So we're about East Coast time where you are in Pennsylvania. So what is it, about 9 p.m.? Um,
Yeah, it's like 9.
so it's about 4:30, 4 o'clock, 4:15, I guess what it is. Yeah. Up in here, up
4
in the North Pole.
a.m. or p.m.?
PM.
p.m. Okay. Wow.
Oh, I couldn't get up that early.
I, I have to get up at 3 a.m. sometimes for my job working on the radio, depending on what time I get up.
Oh wow, that's rough.
It, I mean, to be honest, I got up we did the thing called the turkey drive for 1029 MGK. I had to get up at 3, and my wife got up at the same time, and I drove her to work. But anyways, we were talking, and I said, I feel really good right now getting up this early. We've got like maybe 6 hours of sleep, but getting up at that time, I was like, I feel really good. It was weird. But when I get up at 7 o'clock or 6 o'clock in the morning for a regular shift, I'm like, oh, I'm so dreadful. Like, it's so dreadful. And I get like 8 hours of sleep. It's weird.
Well, because you were going up to for a good cause for the turkey drive, so that's all part of the Christmas magic, the spirit of even Thanksgiving, the spirit of giving, that gives so much energy. That's how I make it, for all those hours delivering the presents.
Yeah. And that's the thing I like about this time of year. It's all about giving. The stations I work for, we do stuff for good causes. We're doing a radiothon. I think it's Toys for Tots in a week, and it's just for a good cause. And I love helping people. I did that for a school project actually in college. I helped out the homeless. I helped handed out food during this time many years ago, and it was a really good cause, and I felt really good doing it.
Yeah, yeah, it really is. It's better to give than receive, and a lot of times when you do it selfishly, it comes back, to you when you don't expect it.
Yeah, and I guess as I get older, I don't really I don't really want anything because like I don't want like something meaningless in my life. Like, yeah, I want money. Yeah, I want like a sports car, but like I don't care about all that. All I care about is just spending time with obviously my wife and my new puppy and family. That's all I really want. Everyone to get along. That's how I operate now. I'll be 30, and a lot of 30-year-olds want a lot of things. I really don't. I don't care for presents or anything. I just care for like the small stuff. You know.
Yeah, that's great. That's great. Hey, maybe you have some Santa material in you after all.
Yeah, that would be that'd be the, like I can't quit radio yet though. I got a lot more I got to do still. But anyways, no, thank you for coming on. And Christmas, like I said, it's like 3 weeks away, and maybe one day we'll have you back on.
No, that would be great. I would love to hang out and chat again with you at some point.
Yeah, definitely. Well, thanks again.
All right. Thank you. Ho, ho, ho. Merry Christmas.
All right, we're gonna take a quick little break. We'll see you in a little bit. All right, that was the interview. Hope you enjoyed it. And Christmas is 3 weeks away. Really nice guy. And that was Santa Claus. So yeah, that's gonna be the end of my show. Hope you enjoyed it. If you did, make sure you like on Spotify, Google Podcast, A3 Media on YouTube, and much more. Because like I said, you got 2 more weeks left with me. All right, well, I'm going to bed. Have a good weekend. Love you all to death. I'll see you guys later, and bye.